What is that behind you?
Oh, what's this? This is actually where I am right now. It's a little town in Germany called Göppingen. So I figured I'll throw in something a little bit more relative.
Damn, I would put my town up, but it doesn't look like that. Mine looks like a bunch of fucking old like steel mills and shit like that. It's
Hey,
fucking
that could be
awful.
cool.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
How did you guys do so far this week?
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not the best week, huh? How
Me
about you
too.
though? With all this macro stuff, is that good for you? Is that bad?
It's really bad. I mean, it's not awful, but usually trading macro stuff is just no matter what, it just finds a way to trick you into thinking that something's going to happen and then it just chops around. And then today we have like yesterday is indicating that we probably should sell off today, but tomorrow's PPI. So since tomorrow is another data drop, basically means that the market cannot move in one direction and continue because it just, there's so much incentive for market makers and that, like,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's
just
too much
chop it around.
anticipation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't start trending if we don't have the news behind us in a way. We could trade in anticipation of the news, little buy the rumor, sell the news, but every day news comes out, like big news. So it almost doesn't even work like that. Yeah, this week is tough. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit too, where, on these kind of weeks, like, especially if you're a small cap momentum trader, it's you almost just want to take off. It's painful. My P&L swings are a little bit exaggerated this week, I feel like. So I was just tightening stuff in. But in terms of today's call, I guess what we can do is, since it's just three of us and we don't have like a planned topic besides everyone kind of sharing their biggest lessons and their kind of game plan going forward, somebody can start, and I guess we could just do like a mini Q&A session after everyone goes, kind of like how we originally did it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyone have any
Down
thoughts?
400 now.
What? What?
I just made 2 trades while you guys were talking.
Junkie. There we go. Hey, I was so close to making a trade last time. But this time I really won't do any trading. I don't have any of my screens with me. And I'm not like David who trades on his phone. Anybody want to go specifically? Maybe have something to talk about?
I vote Toby because that'll make him stop trading.
I don't have much of anything really prepared for today, honestly, because I did not stop trading until, well, I still haven't stopped, to be honest. I'll be happy to go over yesterday's trades. Yesterday's P&L and stuff.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, so for anyone watching this, typically we do it on Thursdays, but my schedule is really crazy tomorrow and the Friday, and then weekend is almost impossible to schedule something. So we made it today Wednesday. So it's a little bit earlier. It's not like we didn't have our time to do as much research, but I think we can still pull out some really good lessons for this week and going forward this week. So yeah, sure, Toby, if you want to crank it out.
One sec, I want to just load it up. I need to log into TradeJournal.
Colby, you're probably still trading too, huh?
Bro, just wait. You'll see what happens, okay?
Oh no, I don't even know if I'm ready for it. Oh,
it's not that bad, but it's just hilarious.
Okay, man, today the market smacked me around like a little, I don't even know what I should compare it to. Something brutal.
Oh yeah.
Trying to clean up my screen a little bit.
Delete all the naughty stuff.
Just going over my P&L yesterday was a little bit of a rough day. I got myself into trouble pretty early in the pre-market. Wasn't down too much. Probably should learn to call it quits at that point. Was down about $250. And then I just kept selling off and kept selling off. I did kind of plateau a little bit at minus 400 and thought I saw some good trades. So I tried to keep going for it and got myself down to about minus 1,065 at my worst, and then crawled back out a little bit, finished the day minus 873. So that was a pretty rough day. I gave back half my profits for the week or for the month.
Super
So
frustrating those days.
I need to learn to call it quits a little bit earlier. Seems like this week in general, it's been a little bit tough. There seems to be a lot of macro news, and so the small caps just aren't running, or just don't feel like they're following through like they would normally, or they have in the past couple of weeks. So it's not, I wouldn't say it was really bad trading as much as just nothing following through. So getting myself into trouble quick. Need to learn to stop. I did the same thing today too. Got myself into trouble pretty quick. Was at minus $1,000 at the worst today, but I'm now only down $400.
It kind of reminds me of last month where you also were like really green, but then you had 1 or 2 days. I think it was just one day where you just gave back a lot of profits.
Yeah, this is kind of a tricky situation for me right now because I'm trying to size up and I want to have those bigger green days, but I'm catching some bigger red days too.
Maybe Colby can give you some tips there.
Trying to get into like, I'm trying to get up to like 3,000 shares on my trades.
That makes sense. And our average ticker is probably around $4. So north of $10,000 position sizes. I feel you. I started trading a little bit lighter and reduced it a bit, but I also want to get always north of 10,000 again as well.
This kind of brings in that question of like, do I size up on every single trade I take, or do I size up on the best setups, because that could solve a lot of the problems of, you like, there's definitely a pretty damn good argument for you should probably not always use the exact same size, because like we say with like exponential bet sizing, like I don't know anything about statistics, but people that are smarter than me have done the statistics for like poker and all that stuff. And like I said before, like if you bet the exact same amount every single time, it is literally impossible to be profitable. It's impossible.
If you have a good starting hand on poker and you have a high EV, you need to be raising before the flop, right? That's how, otherwise you're never going to have big winners. Basically, you're going to, not be going that pot. And I couldn't agree more. So what I've been doing is adding a lot of patterns to my setups. And when there's like multiple setups, let's say I'm trading a daily swing trade and we got major support, like just price level. I don't know, maybe let's say $10 was a pivot zone multiple times. And there's that. We got the 180 on that as well. We maybe broke out of it and the 9 EMA is coming up and we're pulling back to the 9 EMA as well. We have like multiple patterns coming in together. That is a setup where I want to use 3, 4, 5x average size. And I actually did that recently this week and I had one of my biggest winners. It was that 20% winner. And I just said, you know what, this is a really good setup. And I used 2x size. I used 2x size based on my average swing trade. So it was a little bit smaller because my swing trading strategy, I haven't really sized up yet, but still I went in with like 5.5 instead of like roughly 3,000. So that made a big difference.
Yeah. That kind of also is like the whole conundrum of like all these pro traders will always come back and be like, hey, how many indicators do you have on your screen? If you have a lot of them, like they're probably going to, one's going to tell you to buy, one's going to tell you to sell. The other one's going to tell you to buy, then the other one's going to tell you to sell. And then they're like, oh, this is why most retail traders fail, because they're using these indicators as like the sole reason to take a trade. Well, that's the problem, is like every indicator in the stock market is a lagging indicator. There's no such thing as a forward looking indicator. So those are really only to help us identify whenever a setup is very good. That's not like a reason to take a trade. So when you have like the price action first, right? That's the first reason to take a trade. Higher highs, higher lows. Okay, we're in a front side. Where's the 200 moving average? Where's the 50, the 20, the 8? Where's the MACD? And if they're all pointing bullish at the same time and you have that price action formation, then like that's when you size up huge,
Yep. It's basically like having a double aces or something like that. It's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff here that's quite a high amount of value. It doesn't mean it's going to work out, but it might be an 80% setup with a really good risk reward. That's it. That's when you want to size up. So But it is also good to get used to having a bigger base size as well. So if your average is maybe $5,000 and then you get that up to 10,000 and then you want to really do a $100,000 trade, I think that's, yeah, otherwise, yeah, you got to increase the base as well.
Yeah, that's hard for me to do. I don't know. I mean, I get the whole concept of so like let's say my average green day is somewhere around like $35, and that means that my norm, like a green day is probably like 50 to 70, and then a red day is probably like anywhere from 20 to 50. And then that would make my average green day on a profitable month around like $30. So, and I'm still gonna have red days in there. So that means that like on a month basis, I'm probably gonna make anywhere from like $100 to $250, which is obviously nothing. But that's where I get to this point where I'm like, okay, well, what if I traded a lot better? Like, what if I'm trading much better and my average green day is still $35? Like, what's the best I could possibly do? And like, let's say that's maybe $500. That's fine to do. Toby, I heard that shit. Nah, Toby's trading. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me because I don't like, I understand like, yeah, increase your base size, and then maybe my $200 month that's like small now could be a $500 month, but that doesn't require any better trading. So for me, I feel like I want to know like what is like what's a really good month for me in terms of trading? Like what's that number based on my average position size that would mean that I traded very well? And if that number's still going to inevitably be small because I'm trading with small size, but I don't even know what I'm trying to get at here. But I guess my whole thing is like, it's hard to raise your base size whenever you might not be trading well in the first place, you know? So
yeah, that to me, that goes back to the simple thing of, if I'm red for the day, if I'm red for the week, for the month, I'm using smaller size. And my max loss is also reduced. So if I'm red for the month, my max loss is half. If I'm red on the day, I start decreasing my size, and I want to start changing my momentum. I want to start getting some base hits in, get a little bit of a green state of mind and in the right direction. So the reason I bring that up is because you want to, if you're not green, then there's no reason to size up. And looking for that one home run trade that's going to get you back in the green is just, to me personally, is a recipe for disaster. I've heard many other traders say similar. So yeah, that's first and foremost, getting green for sure.
mm-hmm. That's the thing is like, how much green per month is it enough where you're like, okay, I can size up, you know, because I'm having profitable months, but they're tiny. So to me, it's like, I mean,
I would say right away. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I would almost view, instead of like every day, like there's red and there's green days and it will throw you off mentally. But if I would view like as a week, like how are you doing this week, next week? And if like the week is green, so like last week was a green week for me, the swing trades, everything was working. I was understanding some of these because you guys know, I've been doing so many pivots. I understood my kind of new strategy a little bit better. So I sized up on that one. Instead of 3,000 average size, I did 4,000. And if it's a quality setup, I'll do 8,000, stuff like that. So, and then next week, if this is a green week, everything's looking good. Even if it's $100 green week, because I manage my risk and everything well, I'm going to size up to 5,000 next week. So that's how I'm going to do it with this new strategy.
So you just go week by week and then just keep, if it's green, you just keep going up?
Yeah, because if it's, you know, we always have these like 1 or 2 red days, but if you could still manage your risk, and then, you know, it's totally fine. But at the end of the week, things are looking good. And probably on a monthly basis is even better. But I feel like scaling up sometimes on a monthly basis is almost too slow, and it mentally puts me in a weird spot because I'll start revenge or emotional trading because I'm like, I should be further. So I also want to reduce that a little bit. I think that's a nice buffer that I've been working with.
Yeah, I keep trying to raise, like I said, raise my share size. Until yesterday, I was at 21 days green in a row.
wow.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's nice though about shares, is you can increase it by like 10% or something like that. Like your size can always kind of, like when I was trading with shares last year, I had a rule eventually where I was like, every single week I'm going to size up by, I was trading like Nvidia and the SPY and all these tickers. So I was like 10 shares per week. I'm going to size up because that's so small that it won't incrementally actually change my P&L really. But I'm still sizing up every single week a little tiny bit, so it would compound over time.
Yeah, I mean, for you, since you're doing these larger contracts or whatnot, sometimes like sizing up is literally
Impossible.
50% more, 100% more.
It's always
But
100% more.
yeah, literally 100% more.
Mhm.
You know, honestly, you might just like your stats are pretty good. You might just have to just do it again. And I know I told you last time to do it and it was a headache, but dude, it's a bit like this. You just have to get through it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you do know, but like, I'm not sure if I could even give any other advice on that. You probably know in a way exactly what to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've had so many times where, at least since options trading, which was like pretty much August of last year, which is options and futures. And now mostly I'm trading more futures than options, but my option stats are way better. But ever since then, the whole idea of like I have to size up, it has to be 2x my last size is just, that's what destroys me because, you know, I take one trade, I'm already at max loss from previous. Take another trade, I'm 2x my max loss. Okay, well, there's 2 weeks of profit gone on one day, and one day I can easily have 2 red trades back to back, no problem. I mean, that's like super common. So
I
2
wonder
red
if
trades and
only,
I delete it half a month is scary.
yeah, I know. And that's the hard part. Maybe would it be wise for only focusing on options for you? I feel like that would be.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. I might as well just jump in then.
Yeah, jump in. Unless Toby, you have anything else to say? But yeah, we gotta technically in a minute we move on. You kind of took Toby's time slot by talking about everything.
Yeah, seriously.
No, let's move on.
Sweet. Kobe's got the floor. We'll
right.
we'll see if we can do this under 60 minutes, which I think we should be able to manage.
Just remind me. I don't care if you tell me to shut the fuck up. I'll listen. This is not a post that I made for the podcast, but this is pretty much just a large conglomeration of why I'm bad at futures trading and I'm really good at options trading. So if you look at this move right here, like obviously you can't really see that much beforehand, but we were making lower highs on the daily time frame. So we're in a downtrend, kind of within a larger uptrend, but we were making lower highs, looking for lower lows. And I had this idea of, you know, this was previous day close at the time, or maybe it was a little bit. Yeah, we were a little bit above the previous day close. So it was a gap down, came up, filled the gap, went a little bit above previous day close. And then I've been using this thing called the advanced decline line, which tells you how many stocks out of the 2,000 stocks in the New York Stock Exchange, that's a fucking tongue twister, are red or green. So every day there's this little chart where it'll open, and like today it was 1,500 out of 2,000 stocks in the NYSE were red. So at that time right here, the advanced decline line went from negative 1,400 to 0, which means that most stocks in the New York Stock Exchange were on their previous day close, which means that they started with a gap down. They're about to fill the gap. And then usually if you gap down, fill the gap, then you could fail right there and then continue lower. And that's like a really good setup that I like to trade a lot. And the SPY was above that gap. So it was a little tricky because the SPY is above the gap, but most of the stocks in the New York Stock Exchange were on their gap. So that's why I was like, oh, this could actually fail here. Just because the SPY is above previous day close doesn't mean it can't still fail. So my whole idea was that it's going to go short, right? Well, look what I did with my futures trading. So I get in right here. I take like a 2-point profit. It's like $10. I get in short right here, chasing the lows. Stop out, 3-point loss. I get in short again, basically at the same exact spot. Stop out, 3-point loss. Get in right here again, chasing the low. Stop out, 4-point loss. So I lost almost 10 points in trading right here, which is around $50. And I was right the entire fucking time. Okay. So this was my futures trade. Now look at my options trade. Obviously, I'm taking information from Webull and I'm putting it into TOS and I'm just drawing it where I got in and got out. But this is where I got in on options. I just entered right there and I said, I'm stopping out if we break this high, which is about a point in risk. And then I'm going to take my profit if we attempt to go near this low. And it literally, it was like a perfect trade almost. And the reason why is because I took it in my options account and I literally just like turned off my account and I didn't even give a shit about what happened. So it's kind of like the idea of like Alex's biggest trade with his thing was because it was an accident because he wasn't watching the price action. That's literally like my style. Okay. I'm figuring that out, that my style is to get in on a good entry, set my stops, and literally go fuck myself, walk away, and don't look at the market, because if I watch it, I end up doing shit like this. Like, this is the thesis, was we're going to break down, and I overtraded it like 15 times, and I ended up taking all these losses, deleted this great trade. And then I did it again right here, like short at the high, completely blow right through my risk and just continue holding for no reason, lose 3 points there, short again, lose, and then it goes down anyway. So, and then here's all my stats. So this is like from the inception of this options account. And then this is from the inception of my futures account. So this is pretty much all from like December to now, because I wasn't even profitable before then, in options at least. And I made $600 with a pretty good win rate. Like, any win rate for me that's above like 40% is damn good, because I just have a super low win rate for some reason. My risk reward is almost 3 to 1.
It's amazing.
My biggest win is like 5 times my biggest loser.
So good.
And then look at my futures. So 326 red. Granted, about 150 of that is fees. TJ, we talked about this, but TradeJournal is only calculating about half the fees because TradeStation's sneaky as fuck. And my win rate is 35%, which is not good. My largest win is the same size as my largest loss, and my risk reward is like hardly 1-to-1. So, and look at this too. My average trade duration with my options account is 48 minutes long, and then my average trade duration for my futures account is 3 minutes. So, like, if this isn't if this stat right here is not telling you that you're over trading and you're over managing every single trade, I don't know what the hell else it's saying. So this is my problem now, is like, do I take my options strategy and use it for futures, or do I just stay with options? Because why would I do it with futures if it's working with options anyway? So, and then if you could see, I'll show you after this, but the picture behind my head is the trade I took today. And I was basically risking $10 to make 90, and it went like 20 cents to where my exit was, and it came back up and stopped me out. And I took one trade today, but it was just hilarious.
Oh.
And then, like, here's my calendar view for options. Obviously, I'm not even trading that much. I'm only taking trades that just make sense. So, like, it's awesome. Like, one trade, you know, $150, $50, $58, only lost 20 here. You know, like, these are all like amazing stats for, but this is also the problem too, is like, I think the reason why I'm trading options so well is because I kind of jump over to them whenever I'm doing shitty in futures. So, like, if I only had options, I don't think I would trade as well as I am now with options, because the futures allow me to kind of be a degenerate. Like, I can just get in, get out, fucking take all these scalps and like do all that kind of shit. And then whenever it doesn't work, I'll just jump into my options account and just take a really good trade and be done. So this is another really interesting stat. So here's all my futures stats. Again, everything below 5 minutes is red. Everything. Like, look how bad that is. I mean, and then with options, it's like, again, I'm pretty much green. These are kind of hard to interpret, but the most important part is that if I'm holding for more than like 2 minutes, I have a much higher chance of winning in options, at least. And same with futures. So I just need to learn.
Let the trade breathe. Yeah.
The what?
You got to let the trade breathe. Yeah.
Like, I just am over managing every trade in my futures account. It's just really, really bad. And then I kind of wrote down things that I need to do in my futures account. And the first thing is, I always need a criteria for a trade. I'm never taking a trade because I'm like, oh, this is dropping, get in. Oh, this looks like it's going to fail, get in. Like, no, that's not enough. I need like multiple reasons to take a trade. And then risk or reward, and that's it. There's no like get out because it's spiked close to your target and, you know, it looks like it's going to go back up. No, it's either target or stop. That's it. There's no over management. So set the stops, no over managing. If I take a loss, I have to wait 30 minutes before my next trade, because I'll always, like, over here, I just, you know, I could have just lost one time and just stopped. but I took 4 trades in the same exact thesis, and I lost 4 times in the same exact trade.
30 minutes is the amount of time it takes for the fight or flight response to go back to basically 0.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I remember you saying that last week or whatever it was. 3 losses back to back in futures. I'm done. If I lose more than 50, that pretty much means that I've like completely destroyed my risk. But here's another example of, this is me actually implementing those rules yesterday. So yesterday I took 2 trades at the open. Yesterday was CPI day. They both lost. So I lost $25 total on those 2 trades. And then we go back up and we fucking crash like 50 points lower. So if I would have shorted right here and covered obviously at the bottom, that would have been like a $250 trade. Wouldn't have done that. But it's just hilarious that I short it. We come up. We don't even break the high of day. We just like fake out, make a lower high, and then just shoot lower. And then I also took an options trade here and I lost on that. So I was down $50. And then once we pulled back up right here, I was like, fuck this shit. This is actually a good setup. We came up, we made a lower high and we broke down strong. We should probably make a lower low again. So I'm looking for a lower high to short into. This was that spot. I took the short. I set my stop above this high right here and my target at the attempted break of a new lower low. And I went to go work out and I checked my phone and I made $78 without even looking at the trade. So it was kind of nice to like have rules from Friday and then implement them and they actually worked, because usually a lot of the time you make a rule and it fucking like makes you lose the next day and you're like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, that was that. And then my background today for Zoom is another trade that I took where right here I got in, I shorted, and my target was like right below the wick. And it was going to be either a $90 win. And I was up like 65 or something on this trade. And then it wicks down and it comes right back up. And then I moved my stop a little bit instead of losing $20 in this trade, which is my original stop. I just did it for like around break even. So I lost like $8, but it was just annoying that I took that trade. But the good thing is I only took 1 trade today and I just lost. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not fucking with this market. It does not want to be touched. I'm not going to touch it. So yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think you're going to do with the futures and the options?
I think that I want to still trade futures, but I want to have the same principles as my options trading. So like the way that I see it is that I want to use options for those potential like massive winners. And then I want to use futures for like those consistent like 10-point SPY futures or 1-point SPY trades. Because if you make 1 point on the SPY every day, that's really, really good. Like there's not many people I see that do that consistently. And obviously if I'm trading one ES contract instead of the MES, so trading a mini instead of a micro in futures, then I could make in 10 points, that's a $500 day. So like by the end of the year, I want to get to that where I'm trading the ES. So my days will average around like $500 if I trade well. So, but the thing is like, it's hard because I want to get in kind of at the same spots with my futures account and my options account. And I'll take the futures trade for 10 points. And then the options account, I'll let it sit and like let it relax a little bit, see if I have like a really good entry for a clean like trend day or something like that. And I'll always take my profits at 2 points if the daily setup is not there. But if the daily setup is there, I'll take the futures trade for 10 points and then I'll hold my options trade for the whole day for the potential of like maybe one of those days where you get like 5 or 6 points in profit, which would be like multiple hundreds of dollars in options. So yeah,
I think that makes sense. And I know I do something similar. I could share about it in a bit. But yeah, I mean, typically what got me really profitable in my first big leg to 100,000 was basically just reducing everything that didn't work. And that's when I was like, okay, no more backside, no more ranging. I'm only trading front side. And that got me really good at trading front side. But yeah, I also do 2 strategies right now because, you know, sometimes there's no opportunities. And then the other strategy, like this week, the other strategy has made me green. It's tough. But I'm so interested to see what happens. And let's say a year from now, are you going to still be trading both or not?
Mhm.
And that's going to be the great thing to follow up on. And even just, 4 weeks, but definitely
Yeah.
as you, advance in your trading career.
Yeah, I mean, all I really need to do is just stop over trading in futures. If I just stop doing that, take my option strategy, basically make that my future strategy, and then use options for the bigger winners, that's pretty much all I can do.
What you could do, and I take it totally is totally up to you. But you could double down on your options. So just increase size on those and leave the futures be with the current size, but practice that strategy, because I totally get it where you want to practice a strategy, you want to get better at it, and you want to scale in the future, and you can. So you should keep practicing. But if that's where you're losing money constantly, leave the size be. Don't size both of them, and then just only size your options. Only keep sizing what's working, right? And the other stuff you could keep practicing, but if it's not green, leave it at that starter size.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, for sure.
At least that's what I do to myself. So I'm preaching. I'm doing what I'm preaching in that regard.
Yeah, that's definitely what to do. I mean, yeah.
I guess I'll share my screen unless there's something else.
Toby, what are you doing?
Toby's trading.
No, I'm listening to you guys.
All right, hands up.
That's good. That's so good.
Funny.
So
I only made like 5 trades since we started.
All right, that's not that bad.
for you, that's nothing. For me, that's like half a trading day.
I know,
Only
right?
down 370 now.
Nice.
Hey, dude, you have the world's best recoveries. I gotta admit. I mean, it's crazy.
Seriously.
Just to keep the flow, I guess I'll already share my screen, but feel free to keep mentioning anything you guys want to mention about anything. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So this is my watch list posts where week 7 we're in right now. I kind of already mentioned this. I'm just trying to, this is like sometimes the topic of the week a little bit. I'm just increase my minimum trading size to 4,000. It sounds like a very small amount, and the reason this is actually more like the base size for my swing trading a little bit, and also my day trading in a way, because sometimes I want to be trading north of $5,000 average position size for my day trading, but sometimes I'll get a partial fills, or I'll be hesitant and then only have a $1,500 position size, and I'll be my 8% biggest winner, and I'm like, that was really embarrassing. I can't let that happen, because that's basically not raising before the flop with double aces or something like that. That's leaving a lot of profits on the table, because I only get 1 or 2 really good trades like that usually a day. Sometimes 3 if it's like amazing. So last week I had a little bit of an emotional breakdown. Let me see if I can find it. So last week, right here on Tuesday, I had, for probably like the 100th time in the last 3 years, I was up pretty nicely, and I ended the day not at max loss, but pretty close to it. And I was just so frustrated. It was one of those days where I traded 4 or 5 hours, and I could have just traded 1 hour and be up $500. But no, I, worked all day and lost money. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I think a big reason I can only trade so much in one day is because I am in Europe, and Toby probably understands this, but like at the end of the day, you have a lot of decision fatigue, and it kind of goes over to anything else I do. Like if I play chess on my phone at the end of the day, I cannot like beat anybody. But if I play in the morning, I'm pretty good or like not good, but like I can hold my own,
That's
and
hilarious.
so it's like my cognitive ability just depreciates exponentially, I feel like, at a certain point. And I feel like trading amplifies that, because there's that emotional side to it too, where you start getting this this really emotional fight or flight kind of revenge trading, FOMO. Like today, oh my god, I was conservative, missed my entry, pops up, Then I get FOMO, I kind of chase, and then it flushes down on me. It happened 3 or 4 times in a row. And I was just like, okay, I'm calling it today. But basically, after I implemented that, I had 3 good green days in a row. Monday, there just wasn't a lot of opportunity, and I ended down like $100. And then my swing trades were actually, they all closed red. It was crazy. I had like bottom ticked on so many swing trades. So this looks bad, but it was just swing trading. The other day was also not that good. I only had like, I don't know, the day trading part was pretty slow. I ended 187 up, and then my swing trades brought me up like $1,200 basically. And what I guess my point is though, like I've had some really nice, like where I basically wrap up trading and I'm up quite a lot of money, and I'm doing that, thing I always said in the Discord, like I wish I just stopped trading and called it. So I've been implementing that, and I got to say it's been paying a lot of dividends because I'm not as exhausted the next day. That's a big thing that has helped me, and I've had more energy and time to do other things like study my trading, manage swing trades before the market opens, just like breathe a little bit, take a nap, because I've been pretty exhausted lately. So I think it's just really important to look after yourself. And I think this is a really good way to do it. Just limit your trading. I've been personally doing pre-market. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit too late for me personally in my life. But I think if I lived on the East Coast, I would actually prefer, which I might at one point again, I would actually prefer probably to trade from like 9:30 till 10:30 to 11 or something like that. Because pre-markets from 7 to 8, it's a real hit or miss. There's like what I do is from 7 to 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's not always a lot of opportunities. Sometimes it's amazing. Other times, like 3 days in a row, you won't get anything like it's been. So that's where the swing trading comes in. And that's a bit like your options and futures. Like the options, when it's there, great. But the other one at least keeps you a little bit busy. And there are 2 strategies that I know I can make a lot of money with. So I like practicing both of them. What I wanted to share here really quickly, this last little thing is the risk reward. So this was last week, and I had a good profit margin, 64%. The win ratio was pretty okay, especially with 2 strategies. I kept my largest losing trade below 10%. So this is like a really nice to have this bigger, your largest winning bigger than your largest loser. And this is actually a trade I cheated on. I moved down my stop, and I instantly, learned my lesson. Don't move down your stop. If anything, if I just got stopped out at minus like 5% or 6% with slippage, this would have been fine. And I could have re-entered, and this trade, I had the right idea. It was a huge, like 200% move after I got stopped out. I almost got stopped out like 20, 30 cents above the perfect low, but I could have made another entry and made 2 trades out of it, is basically what I'm saying. The only problem was last week I just used smaller size. I've already corrected that quite a bit. 1-to-1 risk reward, really nice. So like everything right here. So what I was talking about Colby earlier is like, week by week. So this week is like green light. I have full privilege, I guess you could say, or allowance to size up, no problem. And so that's basically what I did for this week going forward. I sized up a little bit, and yesterday, I don't know if our faces are going to be in the way or not. So I'm a little bit nervous here because they are when I'm me watching it myself, but we'll see how it is on recording. But so this was, hold on, let me get this right. Okay. So this was Monday right here, and Monday wasn't really the best. I kind of just, gave back, took a lot of losses, but still, like, if you think about it, it wasn't even that bad, like for a red day. Like I didn't have any massive losers that were much bigger than my largest winning trade. My risk reward was still pretty okay. Everything was looking all right. And then my green day was like really solid. I had a, 2 to 8, so 1 to 4 risk reward with percent, and then with dollar, like a 1 to 3. And my largest winning trade, much bigger than my largest losing. So everything is kind of going in the right direction. So I'm trying to group it again in a week. And if this week goes by, I want to do that, 5,000 instead of 4,000, and just kind of keep chipping away at it like that. Let me see. There's one more thing that I wrote down I wanted to mention here. Yeah. So trading less than, 90 to 120 minutes, or this is supposed to say 130 minutes. So about an hour and a half. Ideally 90 minutes, because even that extra 30 minutes, sometimes I start slipping up. Let's see here. So I reviewed the stats. And then I also just wanted to say, like, so this week is a week where I could have even fully taken off or just limited my trading altogether. Like macro weeks like this are a little bit stressful. Like I could have just played swing trades, I think, this week. So Monday was what? Monday was basically Super Bowl hangover Monday. Tuesday, we had CPI come out. Yesterday, we had retail, or no, was that retail today? Yeah. Retail came out, yeah, today. And then tomorrow, what's the report dropping? It's
PPI.
basically, yeah. So every day is basically screwed. And then Friday, I'm totally off because we have a lot of things here. So like when there's weeks like this, you know, I even wrote ahead of time, like, where did I say? No, I said it somewhere, like where I, like right in the first day I said, it's probably better to like leave this week be a little bit because there's so much going on. And that's exactly been the case. And I can't find that exact sentence, but I wrote it somewhere. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to review. Just I want to basically keep doing what I'm doing. As long as I'm green in the rear view mirror, I can size up, and it's pretty much that simple. And we just need a little bit more momentum right now in terms of the kind of things I'm trading personally. Otherwise, I can't have like a $5,000, $10,000 a week profit if there's no tickers moving. That's just that simple. I can only do what the market gives me.
Yeah. If you go back to that one day where it was red 600.
Yeah, let me do it. I could even like, so that was this day, Monday.
Yeah. So how many trades that were red did you take in a row?
That's a good question. Well, technically, so this looks really bad. Again, these were my swing trades. So actually this one wasn't. Oh no, this one actually was. This was again a swing trade where I wanted to buy off support and let it be. And I had my stop right around here at the 2, and we broke that. And that's where I got stopped out. So this could have been because this was a first gapper that I wanted to size up and accumulate pre-market support and see if it ran. This one failed. A lot of these other ones, APPP, this one was so frustrating. Like if you see the 5-minute here in the daily, like we were holding this zone and I had my stop under this zone, like slightly under 15. Yeah, 1477. I don't even think it was 77 because I think I got some major slippage here. Yeah, we had a major panic and then it totally recovered. This was frustrating. But again, small loss, you know, look, I'm doing all my sizes around 3,000. This was, a lot of these were entered last week when I wasn't allowed to do 4,000 yet. CTMX also got stopped out here at the perfect low, literally perfect low. So some of these tickers, like I still need to adjust my swing trading strategy. Like I'm getting a little bit too aggressive of entries. I've learned that I'd rather miss the move than just get stopped out. So rather have low entries. Also, you have to kind of know your market or the tickers. Like if it's a large cap, I can be a bit more aggressive on my how high I put the limit order on. But if it's a small cap, they have these huge like panic sells and stuff like that. So you want to be buying on the panic sells. You don't want to buy, you know, in anticipation of a breakout necessarily. If you're, you know, planning to hold like on the 4-hour time frame, like who cares about that little breakout because it's probably going to come back down in an hour anyway. FWBI, yeah, we looked at that one. So yeah, these were all. Did I use the same picture here? Oh, I think I did a wrong picture here with GENE. Oh no, I just clicked on it wrong. Yeah, again, I got stopped out the perfect low before the recovery. So I like on these tickers, I was basically buying off the support here at 1.5. And the 9 EMA was coming in. So this was actually a really, really big support zone. Again, it just had a really aggressive morning panic. And I mean, 2 things I could have done is like, you know, the stopping out is sure, fine, that's one thing. But also I could have re-entered either lower or before I got stopped out as my second trade, but that would have increased the size quite a lot. So yeah, I don't know. I have to start thinking about these swing trades a lot more. I think for me to share this strategy, I'm not totally ready yet because I'm still ironing it out. And I feel more comfortable talking about my front side because I feel like there's not much more I need to iron out on that one. It's just more practice. But yeah,
maybe
so with the actual day trading, it was pretty consistent, like some red, some green.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you were day trading and you took that many losses in a row, you should have stopped. But that was all swing trades, so that doesn't. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
those.
maybe,
Yeah. Sorry.
um, maybe. I mean, we all love drawing the horizontal lines, and we're saying, this is support, resistance, and stuff like that. That's like, recently people are doing more of like, oh, this is supply, demand, and they'll put like a box instead of a line because that kind of helps you visualize the fact that just because it's a line doesn't mean it can't go below that line and still use it as support, because we like to think that like that's the absolute. Maybe it would be interesting for you to try. I don't want to throw more things into your strategy, but if you can see where those support and resistances are on certain tickers and see how they respect them, like maybe some tickers will respect them like to the fucking penny. Maybe some respect them much quicker and like above the support. Maybe some break below the support. And like maybe you could put a starter if you see like whatever it was, FWBI or I don't know which one, it broke below that line. Maybe you could put like a 1/4 size starter on the line of support and then go for a bigger size once you crack it. But I guess that's still sketchy because as long as it's still making higher lows, that's kind of the only reason you'd want to average into a loser like that. But I
No,
don't
I
know.
think what you're saying is actually, it's so funny you're actually saying this because I started doing that. I literally was like, okay, well, I'm just going to identify like where there's big supply zones because this is just like general territory where I need to be accumulating.
Yeah.
And if it is like a significant break of this or something like that, I could always sell. But yeah, and actually, usually they do break a little bit. So I actually want to be buying on slight breaks of those territories. So kind of like bear traps is basically where I want to be buying, which is tough because that's kind of the trend reversal territory. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at these multi-day runners and so on and so forth. So it's yeah, there's already like a first stare on the daily forming in that aspect. And these tickers, they just like to flush a lot. But yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Like understand the zones. That's true.
Yeah. Like even these small caps, like you literally need $1 million to just destroy this entire company on some of them. So it's like, if you think about it, I mean, how much does this support really support? You get 100 people with 10K position size and whatever,
Yeah, and the momentum really dries up quick. So like I'm kind of surprised I'm fine holding some of these, but I'm really only fine holding them if there's really momentum, like it's really trending in a direction or something like that. And then you just have to anticipate that even if it is in a 4-hour front side trend, it's still going to have these like morning panics of like 15% or so.
Yeah.
So that's what I haven't calculated for as well. But otherwise, I'm net green on the strategy and, things are going well. And we're having a lot of multi-day runners. We're having a lot of tickers holding their highs. So it's kind of the right environment for it. But again, yeah, I don't feel super comfortable talking about it fully, not because I'm scared to share information, but just because I still need to iron it out for myself. So ask me any questions about front side trading momentum, on the 1 minute time frame. But
Yeah. I would love to see that strategy on large caps once we're back in a legit bull market. Because that would probably be amazing in terms of, I mean, you'd have to literally max out your IRA for one
that's
position.
also the thing. Like some of these large caps are coming back down. They're having this multi-day pullback, and I'm like, this looks really good to accumulate. And I would also like to swing trade some of these bigger setups. So I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, I would have to max it out. Like I would have to do like at least $30,000 position sizes. Otherwise, it's
not gonna make you
great.
anything.
I made 3, 4, 5% on like a $5,000 position. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. And anyone have any like game plans going forward that they want to share? I mean, we did kind of talk about what everyone's mindset is in a way, and how they want to fix their lessons that they learned and shared. But maybe is there anything specific for next 3 days, next week, February, anything on anyone's mind?
No, I'm
Toby?
just going to let the trades come to me. Feel like I'm just kind of pushing a little bit too hard right out the gate, and maybe not taking all the A+ setups, taking a lot of Bs and Cs just to try to get some good green trades and get ahead to start the need to be more patient. I would love to be able to not make a trade the whole pre-market if nothing shows up, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, I'm obligated to make a trade if I want to sit there for that whole amount of time and watch the screen. So I don't know.
I feel you. I have to close the app or else I'm probably going to trade it. I could practice discipline, but I don't know.
I feel like, yesterday I had a pretty big loss, but and it's more than I want to be because my largest winning days aren't as big as my largest losing days right now, but I'm able to string together several winning days in a row. And I know I can do that. I've done that several times before. So I am actually happy that in the fact that I did stop at $800 at minus $800. Typically I wouldn't. I would trade until 4 o'clock in the morning or 4 p.m. Eastern time because
that's so heavy.
Trying to get out of the hole. And even if I do or don't, I'll still stay up that whole time to try to do it or to find a setup to get into a trade that I can possibly do it. And I don't, like you said earlier, when you're able to finish work early, your mind's going to be so much clearer the next day. And when I have multiple days where I'm staying up super late till 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like in a fog the whole next day. And, of course my trading starts to suffer and maybe that compounds and makes more poor trading days and more poor decisions.
I like that a lot. Yeah. I've also been struggling. I've been struggling with my mindset a lot recently that I keep getting really angry at the market. Like I'll be like, even today, I mean, this is the best I've done personally with my mindset, but it's just fucking like, are you kidding me? Like I was 20 cents away from getting my target, which would be like a good green day, and it comes back up and it stops me out for $8. I could have just sold it for 70, but I wanted 90. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know how, like, I go through these phases where I fucking hate the stock market. Like I hate it so much. And it's like, it feels genuinely like there's a little fucking troll on my shoulder and they're like, go short. And then I go short and I get this awesome move. And then it comes right back up and it's like, haha, fuck you. And it's just like, it's like a joke. And I don't know how to get rid of that other than accepting the fact that, like, there are going to be a fuck ton of days in our careers where we should not be trading. And that is just one of the hardest things I'm pretty sure, like, anyone that's been trading for less than 10 years, we're all addicted. Okay. Like the only traders I see that actually show up for an A+ setup, they got 15 years of trading under their belt. Cause it's so hard to sit back, and we're so trained as well to like take every opportunity because we just don't know when the next one will come. And I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. Less is more. Like if you guys can review your stats and be like, if I just stopped doing this, I would be green or I would be better off. I would implement it as soon as possible from everything I've experienced. And because it's not just the money you save, it's also the headspace you're in, right? You might have had a big loser and then you missed that green trade because you're upset with yourself. So reducing red stuff pays massive dividends, or not over trading, relaxing more, doing less is really all I can say.
Yeah, like trading is so hard. It's so hard. And it's really hard if you're perfectly clear-headed. It is really hard with a perfect mind, perfect sleep, perfect food, exercise. I'm doing everything in my life, disciplined. It's very, very hard. Now take one of those things out. Okay, well, now you just decrease your chances of winning by a lot. And it doesn't feel like it because you're just still doing the same old shit every day. But I don't think many people think that much about how important it is to get your 6 to 8 hours of sleep, to eat healthy, to like be exercising. Don't be in front of your computer every day, because every one tiny little thing that you overindulge on the day before will absolutely mess you up the day coming. So yeah.
Yep. Trading affects, your whole life affects your trading. Yeah. I mean, you're an athlete in a way, right? You can't party the day before, or I don't know, maybe you can, Toby, you tell us. but before a big competition, that's also going to mess
Always
your
party
performance.
after the big competition.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
But if you have a great trading day on Monday, you can't party because you're going to be hungover for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's a really tough thing, career path, but it can be super rewarding. And I don't know, I think we're all on the right path. So I think we just all need to double down on what's working. And that's pretty much as simple as it is. It sounds so easy, but yeah.
We're all trapped in time, man.
Yeah, don't be your own worst enemy, And like, I guess we could pretty much wrap up. But one thing I did just pop in my head that I thought about earlier is, sometimes I'll like watch a bunch of interviews with other traders or, a lot of stuff you share. And in a way, every trader says the same thing, all the same lessons. So it's almost like we all have to just learn those lessons the hard way, it feels like sometimes. So if you in 3, 4, 5 years is basically going to be saying exactly what you're saying now, like just act on it now. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do. And I could already feel it working really nicely. So, yeah.
Yeah, well said.
All right, guys. That was a really good chat. And I think we even kept it under an hour.
Sweet.
Yeah,
First time
nice.
ever.
Yeah. All right, Toby, good luck with your more trading. Probably too, Colby.
I got myself to minus 250 now.
That's
Dude,
good.
That's really nice. Small red day, no biggie.
Yeah, now I can at least go to sleep and not kick myself about it. But
That's true.
I do need to reduce putting myself in this situation. I know I can stop myself earlier.
I think those 30-minute break things would help you a lot, Toby. Or even just 20 minutes or.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably a very good idea. The problem is I don't take like huge losses. My biggest losses are only like a couple $100, but I'll take like 2 or 3 of them in a row, and then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get on
$200
tilt.
loss is not a big deal. I'm okay with that. But when I do several, then it's like, what the hell is happening? So, and then I'm frantically searching for anything that has enough volatility that I can try to make some money.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can do really is just identify that emotion as quickly as possible and just try your fucking best to literally run out of your room and do anything that's trading, because that's the only thing that saves you.
You got to change your personal momentum, right? The market has momentum, but you also have momentum, and sometimes the momentum is just down. It's going further down.
Yeah, that's true. And I also know I trade my best when there is more volatility. If the tickers are moving faster. And like today they're just like barely moving with no volume. So it was
really why were we pushing it today? I totally agree. Understand your macros first.
Yeah,
Colby said that.
Should have like made like 2 or 3 trades and been like, well, this is terrible. I'm only down $50 later.
One thing that this is the last thing I'll say, but the one thing that I watched from Lance Brightstein, genius, amazing trader, made many multi 7-figure years, but he would say that every single day at he traded large caps, so it was around 10:30, but for you guys it'd probably be around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. He would just do a check-in with himself and be like, okay, how do I feel right now? How have my trades been? Do I feel like I'm on tilt? And if any of those things are pointing towards he's in that bad momentum, lower highs, lower lows type shit, then he will just go take a walk and do anything else to reset that whatever that hormone is that you were talking about, Alex.
I guess that's cortisone, right? Stress. Cortisol.
Yeah.
Cortisone.
Yeah. All right, guys. Time to reduce that cortisol.
I don't know where to walk. It's pitch black outside. It's like,
oh shit, true.
So he walks outside and hits a pole. He's like, damn it.
Fuck, I'm going to trade more.
Better than being down $800 though.
Yeah,
maybe a shower. I feel like a shower would be really good. Yeah.
I do I do go to the bathroom. If I'm feeling like I'm going on tilt, I'll splash my face with some cold water, and that actually will help you get out of fight or flight faster.
Yeah. That's smart too. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Okay.
Have a good rest of the week, boys.
You too.
Yeah, you too. Great video. I'll
Listen
try
to
to get it
you guys in
uploaded
Discord.
quicker this time. Last time I got behind schedule.
It's all good.
Cheers, everyone.
Later, boys.
You guys.